How's it going, everyone? Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to our presentation. I am a consulting manager and AI solution architect with Cognizant. We are a big partner of Microsoft. We do a lot of work with different media companies. And what I'm going to be going through today is a solution that we developed to help media companies expedite and automate where it makes sense one of the most time-intensive processes that they handle, which is responding to RFPs. So anyone who's probably worked at any company is familiar with the concept of an RFP. In advertising, it's very similar. It's how ad sales teams get a ton of their business. They receive RFPs from agencies or avail requests, and then SMEs and sellers will work together to put together a media plan and a response to that RFP. And the slide says a lot of things. There's a lot of text here, but the net of it is, and the big story is that it takes a ton of time. And the solution we've developed uses AI in the Microsoft ecosystem to expedite the solution and introduce some pretty cool agents. So this is kind of a flow of how our tool works. So at the intake level, what's happening is we have a series of agents. So the first agent in this process is the email scanning agent, which is looking at a user's Outlook inbox. It's not just looking at the subject line, it's looking at the subject line and the first two lines of text as preview. And it's identifying emails that it believes are RFPs and then giving it a confidence level. Once it finds those emails, it opens them, it downloads the RFPs, it hands it off then to the parsing agent, which opens the RFP, extracts all of the relevant information, questions, deadlines, things like that, and then moves to creating an analysis, a media plan, and then ultimately a proposal that the human in the loop will review and eventually send off to the customer. So here's a little demonstration of what this looks like in practice. So in this video, what you're going to see is one way that this works. So in addition to the email scanning, you can also manually import, which is what I'm going through here. So I'm going to click on Browse. I'm going to find the RFP that I've downloaded. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and open it here. And then Azure AI Search is working in the background. It's analyzing the document. And what you're going to see here is it extracted all these fields from the RFP. You can see flight dates, a description of the RFP, target demographics, things like that. The user can obviously manually add things or edit things if it's not happy. Again, maintaining that human in the loop. Once they're happy with it, they'll go ahead and import it. And then you can see in your dashboard right here, you have your RFP, you have your summary here, and then you can see your flow at the top. So you have analyze, plan, generate, and then you can also sync with Dynamics 365 sales. The system will actually create a record for you in Dynamics 365 sales. So if it matches an existing customer, it's going to create an opportunity for that customer. If it's not already a customer, it's going to create a lead. So this is analyzing again, and it's going to give us a little bit more robust feedback than the initial analysis. You can see here, there's a lot of text that tells you like what the key formats are that they're looking for. Again, just a ton of information for the user to understand what the ask is of the customer. So next step is going to be the media planning agent. So you run the media planning agent. I'm actually going to stop the video here for a second. Everything in this application is grounded in a knowledge base that the organization maintains. So we're going to show this a little bit later, but if you see in the left navigation menu, there's a knowledge base section at the bottom. That's where a media company is going to house their rate card, their media kits, past proposals, their audience data from like Nielsen or other sources, their schedule from sources like Wide Orbit, Anything that they want to have as knowledge is going to be in the knowledge base. So when you use the media planning agent, I'll go ahead and resume this. The output is 100% grounded in what's true and factual for the media company at this given time based on their knowledge source. So it's running the process, as you can see, or you can't see, but it is running the process. And then it's going to give us this pretty robust media plan here. Now I'm going to pause it again. Where is it? So this is the media plan that it came up with based on this fictional company's rate card, their availability, and all of that. Important thing to call out here is everything can be manually edited or adjusted by the end user. But again, if this is 100% perfect, 10 out of 10, no notes, you can go ahead and move forward with it, and I'll show you what the output looks like. Again, just showing you all of the different placements and information that's relevant to the RFP based on what this company has. You can see I can edit any of the fields here, like flight dates. And then you just go ahead and save using that save icon. And then when you're happy with the media plan that this is put together, you're able to export it to Excel. So this is, here you can see what it's grounded in. So it's citing all of the documents from the knowledge base of what this media plan is based off of. So I'm happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and download. And then the cool part about this is it's using the Microsoft platform for PowerPoints, for Excel, for Word documents. So when I open this Excel, and I had to drag it over to the screen, you can brand this with your media plan template. So this is just kind of a generic one, but if you wanted to have your company logo, your colors based on your corporate brand kit, you can have that all right here, and this is what you get as an export. It's obviously a ton of information, right? It's a little bit hard to see everything here. The important thing to know is this is a huge time improvement for sellers. Instead of having to get with a media planner and do all this manually, this is just given to you as an export, and it's branded. You don't have to worry about it. If you're good with the content here, this is ready for you to attach to an email and send off in response to the RFP. So again, just going through the flow, once you're happy with your media plan, you'll then move to your proposal. The system will generate a proposal, and it's grounded in the RFP and your media plan and your knowledge base. This is just going to give you a generic sort of text file here. Again, you can export it, branded to whatever your company specs are. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here, and we'll move forward to the next slide. There we go. So here's just kind of a static image, again, highlighting that the exported media plan that you get from this tool, 100% generated with AI, is an actual Excel file. It's not some similar looking file. It is legitimately an Excel file that you can save to your SharePoint. Again, this is a Microsoft tool, works with the Microsoft ecosystem, and just want to call out again that it's all branded according to your company brand specs and guidelines. Here's an overview of the knowledge base I used in this example. So I had my availabilities, my schedule from wide orbit. I had a previous proposal that I liked. I had my media kit, my rate card, and some audience data from Nielsen. Cool thing about this is anytime you generate a proposal or a media plan, it automatically adds that to your knowledge base. So the system is constantly learning, growing with you, and getting smarter each time you use it. Okay, so this is just kind of an overview of what the technology stack looks like for the Microsoft ecosystem. So the experience layer. Pretty much the biggest thing I want to call out here is that you're already using your Microsoft tools that you interact with every day. Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Bing, and most importantly, Copilot. Copilot's becoming a very familiar tool, and this is kind of where we see the main aspect of the experience layer for this. So if you're accessing Copilot in Outlook, for example, you can ask a question about an RFP that you have, and it's going to use this application as the deep domain-specific intelligence layer, but your experience layer is still going to be with what you're used to, which is Copilot. Orchestration, like we talked about, there's a number of different agents that work together to make this happen. These are built in Copilot Studio, and then have workflows attached to them. Business data, coming from Dataverse if you're using Dataverse and Dynamics. Azure, obviously you can connect to non-Microsoft sources, Snowflake, Databricks, etc. AI services, in addition to Copilot Studio for building agents, we have some specialized AI services. I called out a couple of them that are coming from AI Foundry, like document intelligence, Azure Search, and things like that, to really give this much more power than just a generic Copilot agent. So all of these things are working together to produce one powerful tool that aims to expedite pretty dramatically one of the most time-intensive processes in ad sales. Again, not gonna go over this too much more. The point is, it's working where you're already familiar with. Everyone's already using Word, Outlook, all your Microsoft apps, Copilot, and this leverages your knowledge and familiarity with those to help expedite your workflow. Here's a little bit about the AI layer. Again, it's using RAG, or retrieval augmented search, to get all the data from your knowledge source. And that's a big thing, right? So the outputs that it's getting for your media kit and your proposal, again, I just want to highlight, I can't overstate how important it is that they are grounded in your real company data. They're not made up. They're not just, this sounds good, generative AI. They are based on real data. Again, some more detail on all of the artificial intelligence functionality here. So obviously understanding and extraction for identifying RFPs, extracting the relevant information. You have your RAG, like we talked about, for getting the appropriate knowledge to add into the outputs of the tool. Drafting and formatting. Being able to use generative AI to build on top of the knowledge source and create an output. Reasoning and orchestration, that's where we have those multi-agent workflows working together to produce one single streamlined workflow. And then there's also a quality and risk agent that we didn't see in this preview, but what it's doing is it's basically giving you a QA score of how good your output is based on the data in your system. And based on that, you can decide to keep it, edit something, or retry altogether. Important thing is human is always in the loop. Nothing ever gets delivered to a customer without a human having eyes on it and hitting approve. So the business impact is mostly in terms of time savings, right? Like we talked about at the very beginning, responding to RFPs is a huge, takes a huge amount of time. And we believe this tool helps streamline that. So the time in getting your first draft dramatically reduced, the time to your final draft dramatically reduced as well. The moral of the story here is your team is saving time. You're not going to miss any deadlines. You're responding to all of the RFPs that you receive, hopefully leading to more win rates, or a higher win rate, rather. Okay. Security and governance. Obviously a very important topic here. Just like with any agent, this system does not allow any user to access or view data that they didn't already have access to. Because this is built in the Microsoft platform, it's governed by Entra and Purview. Users are only able to see and access information that they are actually already privileged. Pretty soon, Microsoft is going to be releasing Agent 365. I believe that's 2 weeks or so, maybe a little bit less than that. And then once that's released, you're going to be able to actually have a little bit more insight into governing each one of those agents that works as part of this overall tool. And that is the RFP responder solution that we built with Cognizant and Microsoft. Thank you all.